What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Hall of Fame, legendary, well-renowned trainer, Freddie Roach, and his longtime pupil, legendary 8-division world champion, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, seem to be overlooking their upcoming opponent, which happens to be a mega showdown with undefeated, unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 3 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, in Errol the True Spence Jr. With that said, the fight is scheduled to take place August 21st, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. We were privy to the press conference that took place this past Sunday afternoon or evening, depending upon where you were at. And Manny Pacquiao seemed to be very loose, as he always is. He seemed to be very comfortable. Manny Pacquiao, 62 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He himself was knocked out 3 times in his career. Manny Pacquiao, 42 years of age, stands at 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. The last time we saw him in the ring was July of 2019 when he took on defeated former unified welterweight world champion superstar boxer Keith one-time Thurman. That was July of 2019. By the time Manny Pacquiao steps in the ring, he would have been out the ring for 2 calendar years and a month. With that said, Errol Spence Jr. undefeated, 27-0, no losses, no draws, 21 big wins by way of knockout. Errol Spence is 31 years of age, stands at 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. The last time we saw Errol Spence in the ring was December of 2020, when he took on and defeated 2-division world champion superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia, and he won via unanimous decision, coming off a 14-month layoff after suffering a horrific car accident just 12 days after unifying the titles against 2-time welterweight world champion superstar boxer Showtime Shawn Porter. With that said, Manny Pacquiao surprised the boxing world when he chose to face off against Errol Spence Jr. when this was the chosen opponent. Now, after Errol Spence beat Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao and his team, they tweeted out and they stated, "Good fight, good victory, congratulations to Errol Spence." When asked about how they would fare against Errol Spence, they said he's simply just too slow and he don't look like himself. Now, to their defense, even Errol Spence, he recently stated on Fred Barbershop Conversations when he stated that he was only 80% of himself when he fought Danny Garcia. Errol Spence is now back with a strength and condition coach, Blu-ray Fitness, who he wasn't with in his fight with Danny Garcia, who he wasn't with in his fight with Shawn Porter, nor was he with him when he fought 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia. Now he's back with Blu-ray Fitness. He was with Blu-ray when he fought Chris Algieri, Lamont Peterson, and Kell Brook. And you can see a difference. It's just Errol Spence's greatness is so high that it's very, very difficult to distinguish when he had his strength and condition coach and when he did it on his own. This camp, Errol Spence is focusing on his strength and condition coach back. He's focusing on with a nutritionist and a chef. In previous years, Errol Spence has not had such accommodations. Now Errol Spence is focused 1,000%, and he's even admitting that in the past, in between fights, he was just celebrating. He let himself get up and weight. He had to lose weight for his next fight, so on and so forth. With that said, Manny Pacquiao and their team and Freddie Roach, he's caught saying that Keith Thurman is a much better fighter than Errol Spence. He's more well-versed, and Keith Thurman is a tougher fight for Manny Pacquiao than Errol Spence is. Now, I believe that they're banking on the stylistic matchup. I believe that they're overlooking the versatility of Errol Spence Jr., one Errol Spence Jr., okay? I believe that, styles that always given Manny Pacquiao trouble have been slick boxers, okay? The style of Keith Thurman, in which I picked Keith Thurman to win the fight, because I thought Keith Thurman's style, his size, his youth would be too much for Manny Pacquiao. But I proved to be wrong. Okay, Keith Thurman was 30 years of age. He was undefeated. He was a unified champion. He had power in both hands. Keith Thurman is very versatile. He could utilize the ring. He could move around the ring. He can box on the back foot. He has a great jab, straight right hand, hook. I thought he had the versatility and the style to beat Manny Pacquiao. But it's not that which always beats Manny Pacquiao as well. You have to have the mental fortitude, as my co-host Kurt Anderson would say. So with that said, Keith Thurman, 29 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout, stands at 5'7" with a 69-inch arm reach. Keith Thurman is 32 years of age. Last time we saw him in the ring was the Manny Pacquiao fight. The difference is Errol Spence is just as technically, if not more technically sound than Keith Thurman. Errol Spence has a better jab and more disciplined and educated jab than Keith Thurman. Errol Spence is a southpaw, so he's going to eliminate the southpaw advantage for Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence has more of a dog and grit than Keith Thurman has shown in the past. Now, granted, Keith Thurman has shown us that when need be and he had to bite down and win a fight, he could do so, even in a fight with Manny Pacquiao. But when he was hurt by Josito Lopez in that fight, he bit down, he fought back, and he won the fight. When he was hurt by Luis Collazo, he bit down, he fought back, and he won the fight. When he was buzzed by Sean Porter, he bit down, he fought back, he won the fight. Even in the fight, like I said, with Manny Pacquiao, he was dropped in the first round, he was badly hurt in the 10th round, he bit down, and he fought to a split decision loss in favor of Manny Pacquiao. With that said, Keith Thurman is not as strong. Keith Thurman's weakness to the body is not a glaring weakness for Errol Spence. Keith Thurman's inability to commit to the jab often in a fight, during the fight, was not there. Keith Thurman's game plan seemed to be somewhat all over the place, as he even admitted that if he would have done what he did in the second half of the fight, earlier in the fight, he definitely feels like he would have won the fight. Errol Spence is not going to have those lapses on defense. Errol Spence is very technically sound. He's not going to give Manny Pacquiao much to work with. Okay, he's a high guard. He stands his ground, and he's a dog. We saw in the fight when Sean Porter, he forced the fight on the inside. Okay, and Errol Spence, he opted to just fight Sean Porter fight rather than put up much resistance against Sean Porter's style. So he chose to fight the fight of Sean Porter, okay? When he fought Mikey Garcia, he just chose to outbox Mikey Garcia. Now, some people say he didn't choose that style. The fighter, his opponent, chose what style the fight was going to be and what manner it was going to be. And that's a testament to Errol Spence Jr. because, like Sean Porter said, Errol Spence Jr. is a chameleon. He can adapt to whatever you bring to the ring. So, a lot of people say it as if it's a negative thing that Errol Spence Jr. adapted to what they gave him, okay? Meaning that Mikey Garcia, he boxed Mikey Garcia because that's what Mikey Garcia allowed him to do or gave him. He fought Sean Porter on the inside because Sean Porter was pressing the fight and he had no choice. But he adapted to Sean Porter's style and he was victorious. When he fought Danny Garcia, he mixed it up. Inside, outside, changing levels, different looks, a lot of versatility. Because why? Danny Garcia stands on his square. Danny Garcia has power in both hands and he's a counter puncher. So he darted in and out. When he fought Kell Brook in hostile environment in the UK, he adapted to the atmosphere. He adapted to what Kell Brook was doing. And in the second half of the fight, he broke Kell Brook down and he stopped Kell Brook. So with that said, Errol Spence is, like Sean Porter says, is a chameleon. He can adapt to whatever you bring to the table. And that's what I believe that Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao are overlooking. Because yes, slick boxers who have jabs, who move around the ring, who can box and time Manny Pacquiao counter punches, they give Manny Pacquiao trouble. Lethargic, come forward, sluggers who are flat-footed, they are tailor-made for Manny Pacquiao because he has very fast feet and very fast hands, and he uses these awkward angles, okay? So those guys are tailor-made for Manny Pacquiao. And I believe that Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao are looking at Errol Spence and his come forward aggressive style, aggressive nature, and they're dismissing the versatility he's shown against Mikey Garcia, the versatility that he's shown against Danny Garcia, Kell Brook, the versatility that he's shown against Chris Algieri when he just adapted to what Chris Algieri was bringing to the table. The movement of Chris Algieri, he adapted to it. And I believe that they're looking at the Sean Porter fight where Manny Pacquiao continues to tell the boxing world this is going to be the biggest action-packed fight he's had in some years in his last 3 to 4 fights, because Errol Spence knows how to stand toe-to-toe. He even stated that Errol Spence was better than legendary 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, former pay-per-view king, and biggest rival of Manny Pacquiao's, retired undefeated after he defeated Manny Pacquiao in 2015, May of 2015, very handily, Floyd Money Mayweather. He says that Errol Spence is a better fighter than Floyd Mayweather, and he could teach Floyd Mayweather, key word, how to stand toe-to-toe. So they're expecting Errol Spence to be in a slugfest with them. They're not expecting Errol Spence to be a boxer. They're underestimating Errol Spence's jab. They're underestimating Errol Spence's timing. They're underestimating Errol Spence's ability to make adjustments and adapt to what Manny Pacquiao is bringing to the table. And I believe they're banking on Errol Spence showing that warrior spirit and fighting in the same manner he did Sean Porter, or fighting in the same manner he did somewhat against Kell Brook, where it was he was pressing forward and he was the aggressor in the fight. And in that fight, I stated I didn't like when Errol Spence would go back in a straight line with his high guard and blind his own defense in that fight. But if you watch Errol Spence from that Kell Brook fight and watch the progression he's made moving forward, you can see that he's grown from that, or at least he's shown us the versatility to adjust to styles, opposed to what he may have felt in the fight with Kell Brook, that he could just use that style and eventually he was weighing Kell Brook down. And he's showing us versatility, the ability to box off the back foot, the ability to counterpunch. I believe Errol Spence's timing, I believe Errol Spence's jab, and Errol Spence's high ring IQ is going to shock Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach. Manny Pacquiao does not make many adjustments in his fight. Manny Pacquiao, what you see from Manny Pacquiao is what you get from Manny Pacquiao. It's not going to make many adjustments. He gets frustrated when you're dealing with pure boxers. Now, he can overwhelm you with his speed and his footwork and start to weigh you down. But even in the second half against Kell Brook, you can see against Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was landing big, clean counterpunch on Manny Pacquiao. And Errol Spence is bigger. He's more rangy. He has 3-inch arm reach over at Keith Thurman. He has he's at 5'9.5", nearly 5'10", but Keith Thurman is 5'7". So he has nearly a 3-inch height advantage over Keith Thurman. He's a much bigger guy. He's stronger, and he's a southpaw. And he's more technically disciplined and sound than Keith Thurman. He's not going to make the same mistakes. And he doesn't have the weakness to the body that Keith Thurman does. So I believe this is a mistake on the part of Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach. I believe they're overlooking Errol Spence's ability to make adjustments, and his boxing IQ and his boxing ability and the ability to use his jab. And I believe that that's going to be the reason why Manny Pacquiao ultimately loses this fight. But let's see how this plays out. August 21st, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the real deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.